This is JordanTower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. All right, so we got the game. Now, I see this guy complaining online that the game scanned him $750, right? Now, if you guys, if people were so foolish to, first of all, it's not like Game was doing a simple story post or something, right? You asked for a verse from the game, and he told you, I usually charge $5,000, but $750. I could see if it was like, I usually charge $5,000, but I'll do it to you for $4,000. That's different. $750, bro? You're too good to be true. Too good to be true. And if it's not, if the contact isn't on all of his social media, like if someone runs an ad with me, you see my contact is on my YouTube, it's everywhere, right? So it's legit. You know this wasn't legit. So the guy sent this person $750, and I know that a lot of these rappers, Jadakiss used to do this a lot before he was on the Joe and Jada show, right? They do these dumb promos where they're like doing mixtapes and this and that, and for, $750 for a slot or something. It's this company that offers you a bunch of money to take control of your DMs for that. I think the game opted into that, so he probably gets a fee monthly. Maybe he gets $10,000 a month, right? And these people just run it up, but if it's too good to be true, always know it is too good to be true, and move on. All right. Memphis Bleak calls Eskeino about Eskeino's rants against Freeway and everybody else. Now, it was caught on tape because Eskeino says he was filming Eskeino's from state property, if you don't know. Beanie Siegel, Chris and Neef, Freeway, Petey Crack, all right? So Eskeino was part of that. And he's calling out Freeway for being a cop and all this. I like Freeway. I don't know Eskeino. I know Freeway. Freeway's always been a stand-up guy to me. Freeway's been through a lot, just like Eskeino's been through a lot. They both lost children. And I feel bad for both of them. And I feel like, I don't know how somebody doesn't break after that, after losing a child. I've witnessed somebody's whole life break down because they lost a child. It was somebody that I cared about. I think if you've been in the channel for a while, you know what that is. I talked about that because I had to do the funeral. I had to do a bunch of stuff for that person, and I saw they're not even alive anymore. They let their life deteriorate to a point where they passed away. But I can understand it could destroy somebody. Freeway and Eskeino are standing strong, but Eskeino is talking a lot about Freeway. Memphis Bleak calls him out and says, yo, you can't be talking about his dead kids. And he's like, I'm not. So Memphis Bleak is inserting himself in a situation, which everybody had a problem with Memphis Bleak at one point. And now he's inserting himself in a situation he knows nothing about. Eskeino had to address it. Now, Star Wars blog posted this. So go to starwars.blog and you can watch it. Or you go to Eskeino Vasquez 71. And you can hear the conversation over at starwars.blog, all right? Because I'm not gonna post it because it's a personal conversation, right? And also, I didn't record it, so I'm gonna let them get the views on it. But that's basically the gist of what happened. And Eskeino defended himself. A lot of Meek Mill causes a lot of problems in Philly with people liking posts of people he doesn't, it's like, I'm just saying there's a lot of turmoil. And I think everybody's Muslim, right? And you're supposed to be brothers, right? So you should come together as brothers, right? Instead of tearing everybody down on the internet. Because it's more personal in Philly. It's one thing when you're just talking on the internet. We tear people down every day, right? But the problem with Philly is you're going to see each other And these guys are all from the street, you know, and I don't want to see nothing bad happen. First of all, these guys were all brothers at one point. That's why I say come together as brothers. They were all friends at one point, you know? There's a lot of people I have problems with that I don't talk about because I have personal problems with them. It's different when it's a personal problem, you know? Rappers I'm talking about. There's a lot of personal problems I have with people that I don't exactly talk about. We're not talking about the simple Khaled situations. I'm talking about, like, we made money together and stuff, you know? Like, I don't talk about that kind of stuff because if I had a personal relationship with somebody, there's a good chance that could fix itself one day and we could just be cool, you know? So I leave it alone. Khaled, I'm not worried about being cool with. Like, Khaled's a user. He's not cool with anybody. He's barely cool with himself, you know? He's barely cool with himself, you know? So I'm not worried about Khaled. All right, so then we got... This is Kenyon Martin, I think, right? Yeah. So Kenyon Martin goes off on a disloyal cameraman. The cameraman was caught on video making fun of his speech impediment or something like that, right? And he airs him out on live. And he's like, yo, I brought you into my house with my family. I put money in your pocket. Okay, so normally I would look at this and be like, damn, this guy's disloyal, this cameraman. But being in situations where you're working with somebody, I'm going to tell you the mental, and you can take this forever you want, right? This camera guy's doing a job for Kenyon Martin. He's not his family. He's not this. Kenyon Martin brought him into his home I'll tell you, most of the time it's a dishonest reason. People will bring you into their home if you're working with them to make you feel like you're family, and you'll do more favors for them and you won't charge so much. I know it sounds evil, but this is how people's minds work, especially celebrities, all right? They make you feel that, you know, notice how they always call you, oh, you're my brother. Oh, we family. They always use the word family because they want that price to go down. They want the hookup. They want you to be available 24/7 instead of charging hourly, right? Kenyon Martin put money in his pocket because the man was working for him, right? And you brought him into your home to manipulate him. I'm not stupid. I've been through this before. Khaled used to do this with me. Bring me around his family. Not his kid. He didn't have any kids at the time, but bring me around his, you know, his wife and his house. And this. We family. We were never family. Okay? Never family. But it's easy to fall for that, especially when you're younger, right? When you get older, you realize the only loyalty you can expect, and if you're lucky, because some people don't even get this from their father. I don't get it from my father. I get it from my mother. I get it from my wife. I get it from my brother. I get it from my dog. And that's it. I have some friends, a handful of friends that will be there for me, right? But I don't count on them. But they would be there for me. I've had one friend actually be there for me in a time I really needed them, and I paid them back tenfold. All right? But, and that was a long time ago, and I always remember that because I didn't even have to ask. We don't even have to ask somebody. That's a real friend, you know? And I only have one of those. One. So, on my hand, maybe 4 people I can really count on. 4. Most people, so don't think that these people are ever your family, you know? Don't ever get lulled into that. Young Buck making oxtail tacos now. Yo, bro, people do too much with oxtail. Oxtail is meant to be cooked to tenderism, right? Serve with rice and peas, man. Okay? That's it. I don't want oxtail on my pizza. I don't want oxtail on my tacos. I don't want oxtail, in my mac and cheese. I want it served the way it's supposed to be served, All right. They're just taking oxtail and putting it on everything, and they charge you $10 million. You know, and Young Buck is trying to scam like that now. He's trying to take a book out of Beanie Siegel's page, and start a restaurant. 50 Cent, obviously, is going to clown Young Buck for that. TG Academics checks Ebro and Rosenberg. They're off the radio now. Ebro has his own Apple thing that's been going on. Rosenberg is doing a rogue radio show with Ebro and Laura Stiles now. They got taken off Hot 97 to low ratings and low streaming. Their number, they say their numbers were good and they were taken off for other reasons. They weren't. They were taken off because nobody was tuning in. You could tell by Breakfast Club numbers versus their numbers online. And that's why Breakfast Club got a Netflix deal and they didn't, you know. Ebro and Rosenberg are deranged over politics, artists like Drake. You know, they're deranged. They get deranged about stuff. They don't just give their opinion and move on. They don't give positives about these things anyways, you know. Look at both sides. Like I always try to do. If people say I don't, they're deranged themselves or they only heard what they wanted to hear. I try to get both sides. Like I could talk about Meek Mill, but I'll always tell you he is a good artist. He is talented and he has the potential to be who he was before, but he let something derail him. I don't know what it was. I mean, we all go through stuff, you know? Even Drake has his flaws. 50 Cent has tons of flaws, okay? It's funny when he goes after people, and sometimes he makes sense. But he has tons of flaws. He puts business ahead of his kids. I could never get down with that, you know? Ever. But he does give a lot of people opportunity. A lot of people don't do that. So there's a good side to him, too. Academics just kept it real with them because they think they're in competition with academics when they're not, and that's why they're trying to bait him into another battle so that they can get ratings. Young Miami's vlogging that she's at McDonald's in New York, and it's her first drive-thru in New York. Okay, I mean, yeah, there's a few drive-thrus in New York. You can get one on the west side up by Harlem. Right? I don't even know if that's open anymore. It's by the train. Queens. Where's the other one? There's one mid to downtown in Manhattan in the middle. I forget where it is. There is one there. It's over where it's still on the west side-ish. There are drive-thrus in Manhattan. There's drive-thrus in Queens, Brooklyn. I don't know what she's talking about. And she's making a big deal of this. It's not a new thing. Been around for decades. I know the one from McDonald's is down by the U-Haul in Manhattan, like the one that's downtownish. It's probably gone now, but who knows? I haven't been to New York in forever, bro. I have no reason to go there anymore. My family doesn't even live there anymore. All right, so Gunplay, you know, he reveals he never heard from Rick Ross while he's serving, but it's still his homie.
Let's see.
Did you get Ross while you was in there?
Nah. And, you know, it was a lot going on at the time.
Listen, Gunplay is still a good guy, you know, and Rick Ross knows that. He said something on a podcast. This is the problem with going on podcasts. You talk too much, all right? And I think they'll patch it up. They've been down forever, bro. You know, they'll be fine. Rick Ross fired back because he was getting a lot of backlash from people in his comments. And once you see that for a week, sometimes you tend to say something. Bro, GloRilla Scarface says she's not changing straps for the next girl. So this is GloRilla's sister. Explains why a guy doesn't have to go get into the D. So I'm going to use the same D. No, it's different. You're not a man. This woman, she's crazy, bro.
All right, so boom, I got a question. Like, damn, wait. Why do, when y'all start talking to studs, y'all say y'all want a new strap? Like, bitch, did the nigga have to go get another dick? No, he used the same dick, right? So why the fuck you think I'm gonna get another motherfucking strap? The fuck are you finna fuck the same strap these other bitches been fucking just like y'all been fucking the same nigga with the same dick?
All right. Let's stop this, man. I mean, it's been about a month, right? So, how much longer? Nas drops a track with, he drops a video for one of his tracks off the DJ Premier album. It's good. Afroman in court with the police. The police trying to take millions of dollars from him because he exposed them breaking into his house, turning off his cameras, and breaking his gate and his doors years ago. He did songs about it. Put the video in there. Talked about this woman having a deep voice, and she's crying up there. She wants $1 million. She wants $1.5 million from Afroman. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, bro. They can put out body cams, so he could put out his personal footage. I just don't get the difference, to be honest with you. Max B dropping Minx in Miami with Rick. I think this is Rick Ross's song, actually, with French Montana, Max B. I don't expect it to do that well. The biggest song was Ever Since You Left Me off the Coke Wave 3.5. French Montana's label pushed it. He has his own network. Did 11 million. Great song. Without Max B on it, probably would have done 30 million. Am I hating on Max B? No, it's just Max B's just listen to the verse on it versus French. French gives you a digestible verse. Max B's is like, what is this? Max B's better just doing underground hip hop, like core hip hop. He has his fan base. He'll stay eating. He's going to be fine. He's not gonna sell millions of records. It's just not gonna happen, okay? But Max B's legendary, bro. He has a fan base. He's gonna stay eating, and he's feeding his fans, okay? So there's nothing wrong. But you know, he's not a big artist. He missed the wave because he went away to jail, unfortunately, you know. But he'll be fine. Ray J talks about he's activating his booty bandits. Remember, he went out. He had them for Fabulous 15 years ago. He says he's going to use them on Camron and Mason. He wants to smash them both. He says they look cute because they were talking about Brandy. Shine and Mace were talking about Brandy because they both dated her. And he says, "Don't talk about my sister. I'll bend you over and I'll have my way with you. You guys look cute." And I was like, whoa. Whoa, buddy. 50 Cent. And Ray J talks about tons of women, so he should just be quiet. Every woman he's been with, he talks smack about. Tiana Taylor, right? Not Tira Marie, right? Not Tiana Taylor, sorry about that. Tira Marie. Talks about Princess. He talks about Kim Kardashian. So this is just a few. There's a lot. 50 Cent says new charges. Court docs say Diddy took down a male escort. All right. This isn't new, I don't think. So 50 Cent's just putting more stuff out about Diddy. Stays on his neck. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I hope you guys are having a great day. Smash that like button, subscribe. It's so important. And I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.